How's it going, fellow Switch bargain hunters? I hope you're doing well. I'm James Zamero, and here at SwitchWatch, we've got you covered. We're searching through the eShop to find you the best deals, the ones that are worth picking up, that are worth your hard-earned cash. This video is brought to you by Hypercharge Unboxed, and I'm really excited to talk to you briefly about their latest update. It introduces first-person mode, a whole bunch of fixes, and loads of extra content that you can enjoy. If you haven't checked that one out, there is a demo available, so I recommend jumping in and giving it a try to see if it's right for you. In the meantime, let's jump in and find out what the best deals are on the eShop this week. My pick of the week this week is a game that some of you may know as Gods and Monsters, because it was renamed during development in 2020. You play as Fenyx in a beautiful open world that is a homage to Greek mythology. Your quest takes you on a long journey in which you must harness the power of the gods in your fight against the dark forces. You can tame animals, collect resources, and glide across the world. This game was not shy about borrowing from Zelda Breath of the Wild, so it's fitting to play it on the Switch, and now it has 40% off. It's a great time to buy. Juan, Jordan, what are your picks this week?
Thank you very much, James. I'm going to pick Little Nightmares. The reason being, I just recently reviewed Little Nightmares 2 on the Nintendo Switch. Check out my review by hitting that top right-hand banner if you haven't done so already. And it reminded me of how good Little Nightmares was. It's a great little horror game from Bandai Namco, and it's a perfect fit for the Nintendo Switch. If you want an incredibly eerie atmosphere with some truly grotesque imagery, look no further. Now, it was a tad expensive with the original asking price, but now it's got a massive 75% off, bringing the price down for our lucky American friends to just $7.49. So if you haven't got it yet, this is definitely a game you want to pick up. And make sure you check out part 2 as well. Yes, of course, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but both games are very good if you enjoy horrors. Thanks very much, James. Thanks very much, everybody watching. I'll see you next week.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Hope you're all having a nice Valentine's. Today, my pick of the week is gonna be the Bioshock Collection. Not usually my type of choice if you watch regularly, but when I saw the price, I couldn't say no to this collection of 3 great first-person shooters. I love the original on the 360, and I'm excited to try the 2 sequels. Obviously, there's a chunky download requirement, which means I'll probably be playing it sometime, I don't know, next month with my terrible internet speeds, but it's 50% off in the UK and Europe now, just 20 quid and 25 euros. Sadly, there's no sale in the US at the minute, at least digitally, but it is pretty cheap on Amazon US right now, so maybe check that out. Anyways, I better get downloading.
Windbound is a survival exploration game with some Zelda stylings about it. The game throws you onto an island without any tools and very little guidance. The game is set across a series of islands. Along the way, you will craft, fight, explore, and learn a bit about the lore of the game. It's not actually a huge game, but it's difficult, so you will replay the first few islands a few times until you crack the most effective order to explore it in. Juan reviewed this one, and I played it a fair amount, and whilst it isn't perfect, I very much enjoyed what I saw. There are some nice little details in this one, and now it has a decent 40% off. It's one of those games that's just really charming and you want to explore it and find out a bit more. Ikaruga is a legendary vertical shooter from Treasure. In the game, you control a rebel pilot named Shinra as you battle an enemy nation using a specially designed fighter called the Ikaruga, which can switch between 2 energy polarities, black or white, at the touch of a button. Bullets that are the same colour as Shinra's ship can be absorbed, whilst the opposite colour will do damage. This polarity switching mechanic is the game's core feature and the foundation for its stage and enemy designs. If you haven't heard of this old game, then you are missing out. It doesn't go on sale very often, so we had to include it this week. Up next, it's the beautiful No Kuni. Now, this one's been on sale a couple of times, but when it does, it's such a great game that we just have to include it. This is a charming tale that unfolds through the use of animation storyboarded that looks superb, and the music composed by the renowned Joe Hisashi. No Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch combines beautiful animated visuals, masterful storytelling, and a sweeping score to create an epic role-playing adventure like no other, which blew Juan away when he reviewed it. You can check that out by clicking up at the top right hand side, and definitely if you don't know about this one, you're missing out. Valiant Hearts: The Great War is a heartbreaking yet engrossing story about war set in World War I. This is a puzzle adventure from Ubisoft that touches the heart as well as being an enjoyable game. This is the story of broken love and surviving the horrors of the trenches, sacrifice, friendship, and tragedy. These are the themes in this tearjerker, and I'd urge you to give it a try. Here we have a wilderness survival game where you control a girl and her dog down a procedurally generated river. Yes, this is Flame in the Flood, the complete edition. Of course, evading dangerous wildlife is key, along with finding resources to survive and also remedying inflictions. There is a crafting system, and the support you get from your dog who can sniff out danger is charming. We love the visuals here and the cool soundtrack, and with 70% off now, this is definitely the time to try it out. Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime is a game you should play with friends to control your ship, with each person being in charge of different parts of the craft, from one of you controlling it to the other manning turrets and shields. Working as a team is key to exploring the galaxy successfully and triumph against the evil forces which are anti-love. Ships are upgradable and the experience is different every time due to the randomized levels. Picking this up now with 50% off in all regions is a good idea. Human Fall Flat is a silly, physics-based game that sets you up for slapstick laughs. It will tickle you with the funny situations you end up in. You play as a Play-Doh basic character, and for its short campaign it's fun, but it does wear off after some time. There is local co-op to extend the giggles, and the developer has added online multiplayer as well, which is of course a welcome addition. The Just Dance formula from Ubisoft hasn't changed much since the first release back in 2009, and if it ain't broke, then why fix it and all that. You pick up a Joy-Con and copy professional dancers' moves as they strut their stuff over a bunch of popular tracks. This year's entry is very similar to last year's. In truth, there's not much new, but the ability to hold a mobile has returned, which is a welcome addition, and the 41 tracks this year are quite broad and decent. There is also a kids mode, which takes down the complexity so your little ones can enjoy it, but again, both of these features were there last year. With 40% off, and whilst a load of people are stuck in their house, this is a great way to do a workout and make it fun. It's also a laugh to play with your family members, including little ones. The game has become quite polished, and aside from the new tracks, it's a bit hard to justify investing each time around, but it's easy to recommend if you don't own it already. One thing to be aware of is Just Dance Unlimited, which is a subscription service that unlocks a huge number of additional tracks, but costs quite a bit. Velocity 2X is a fast-paced shoot-'em-up that is all about being in the zone. You need fast reactions and twitch reflexes to succeed here. Everything about this game is driven towards speed. The campaign has no fluffy filler, and speedrunners will love trying to beat that score arcade style. A wonderful game at a brilliant price point. A firm favourite of Jordan's, this is one of the best, if not the best, rhythm game on the Switch. It has banging tunes and quirky gameplay, and if you have the drums, well, it's even better. This is one of those games that's a blast to play, and you will get it out when friends come over. Perfect, with a really nice 70% discount on right now. Simply put, if you love Monster Hunters, then the chances are you will love the God Eater series. It's set in a dystopian world where you play the role of a God Eater, someone who can wield the power of the origami and gigantic weapons known as God Arcs. The story sees you set across the world and meet a host of different characters, find and craft badass weapons and gear and slay massive monsters. It's a blast, and whilst it will sound a lot like Monster Hunter and it has its own style, battles, for example, are much shorter and snappier. This is one of my favourite games from a couple of years ago and definitely worth checking out, and if you are unsure, check my review by clicking up at the top right hand corner. Florence started life on mobiles to well-deserved critical acclaim, so it's natural that this is a fit on the Switch with its touchscreen capabilities. It's a beautifully hand-drawn comic-style tale that unfolds as a mix of light gameplay and immersive story. You play as Florence, a woman in her 20s, stuck in a dull routine when she suddenly gets drawn in by some fabulous music, meets Krish, and what follows is a charming interactive rom-com essentially. Interestingly, there is no actual dialogue, but the story is so well laid out and relatable that you never struggle to understand what's going on. The game score is superb, and the only downside really is that it's sub 1 hour runtime, something that is negated of course with a 50% off right now. And that's it from us this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm keen to see what everyone's favourite pick is this week, so do let me know in the comments down below. Earlier on today, we dropped a video covering the best co-op games for the Xbox Series consoles at GamesXpanse, so if you have that console, check that one out. If physicals are more your thing, then check out our huge import essential guide. It's a beast of a video, so grab a cup of tea or coffee first. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, thanks for stopping by and take care.